you've been talking about homelessness. Obviously, it's a huge, it is. It may be the problem in Los Angeles. I don't know.
It is
Right?
the problem. There's without question, there's two problems. Homelessness is number one, and crime is nipping at its heels.
Right. Right. And I'm sure people could go read your thing, but you want to say something about an approach to that will make sense?
An approach to crime?
To the crime situation in
Los Angeles? Sure. No, absolutely. Crime has increased, and we have to admit that and accept that and address that. So if somebody commits a crime, they need to be held accountable, full stop.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is hold people accountable, but at the same time, I want to invest a lot of money in preventing future crimes. Stop the current crime, prevent future crimes with tested, research-based, evidence-based strategies on crime reduction that never really get invested in. We'll pour some money in when crime goes up, and then when crime goes back down again, because crime always cycles, then we'll take the money away. And then when crime goes up again, we'll say, well, that didn't work. If you cut off your investment, you're absolutely right. It stopped working. It's not that it didn't work.
No, it did. It actually did work. And then you stopped it. Right.
And I will tell you that one of many reasons why crime has increased is because we did stop the work during the pandemic. The organizations that address crime from a community-based level also went into quarantine, right. Like everybody else. Right. And so that work stopped, and surprise, surprise, crime increased. The other thing that happened over the pandemic was a massive, massive purchase of guns. I mean, even in Culver City, David, that lone gun store on Washington Boulevard.
Yeah, I remember.
A line wrapped around the block.
Isn't that wild?
At the beginning, it's like, I don't know. People thought, I guess they were going to have to shoot for food or something. I don't know.
Exactly. Folks are going to come to my house, and I want to be prepared.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Which is insanity. But so anyway, so in some neighborhoods, as I've been all over the city, in some neighborhoods, they want more police, and they want police now. And so to me, the quickest way to get police on the beat is to get officers who are working behind the desk back out on the street. So the first thing I would do would be to hire civilians to replace those officers that are already trained, already capable. Now, not every officer that's behind the desk could go back out on the street for a variety of reasons, injury being one of them. But for those that can, and that can get a couple hundred officers on the street right away. The reason why I focus on that as a first step is because right now it's very, very difficult to hire police officers. Now, I think we should hire at the same time, but realistically speaking, it's going to take longer to get officers on the beat for several reasons. Number one, it isn't the most attractive profession right now. So there's not, they're not overflowing with recruits, but even the recruits that they have, it takes a long time to get through the vetting process because the personnel office is way understaffed. They did a lot of early retirements at the beginning of the pandemic, thinking that they were going to run into a budget crisis. And so that left the personnel office, woefully understaffed. So an average class, a recruitment class that goes through training, the capacity is 40. LAPD can't put more than 23 officers through that training on any one class. That's why I say, if you want to get officers on the beat ASAP, get them from behind the desk.
Does anybody push back against that?
No.
Right. I was about to say, isn't that like
common sense?
Yeah.
No, nobody pushes back. And by the way, I regularly talk to the police chief because, as you know, I've been involved in looking at crime trends and trying to figure out how to address crime for the last 30 years.
Right.
So I asked the chief, about these strategies, and he agreed with them. The difference is that some candidates are just not being honest and saying, well, I'm going to hire 1,500 police officers when they know good and well the city would go broke if you tried to do that. And number two, there's not the capacity there. But that sounds way more sexy.
Oh, yeah,
than
totally.
me saying we're going to put officers, from behind